Well, viewers, first up, the story of Lok Sabha poll campaigns has been Prime Minister Narendra Modi's southern push. From multiple rallies and roadshows to a first ever interview with Tamil media, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has gone all out in targeting the opposition parties. And now, just days ahead of the polls in Tamil Nadu, the Prime Minister launched his sharpest attack yet. The Prime Minister has accused the ruling alliance in Tamil Nadu of betraying India's interests. He's accused the icons of Congress and DMK, Indira Gandhi and the late Karunanidhi, of gifting the Indian island of Katchatheevu to Sri Lanka in 1974.
आज ही कांग्रेस का ये एक और देश विरोधी कारनामा देश के सामने आया है। तमिलनाडु में भारत के समुद्री तट से कुछ दूर, कुछ किलोमीटर दूरी पर श्रीलंका और तमिलनाडु के बीच में समंदर में एक टापू है, एक द्वीप है, कच्चाथीवू, अलग अलग नाम भी लोग बोलते हैं, कच्चाथीवू। ये द्वीप सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। देश आजाद हुआ तब हमारे पास था और ये हमारे भारत का अभिन्न अंग रहा है। लेकिन कांग्रेस ने 4-5 दशक पहले कह दिया कि ये द्वीप तो गैर जरूरी है, फालतू है, यहां तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है। और ये कहते हुए मां भारती का एक अंग आजाद भारत में भारत के मछुआरे मछली पकड़ने के लिए समंदर में जाते हैं, तमिलनाडु के हैं, केरल के हैं, पुडुचेरी के हैं, तेलंगाना के हैं, आंध्र के हैं, इस द्वीप की तरफ जाते हैं।
Meanwhile, the island situated northeast of Rameshwaram, approximately 33 kilometers from the Indian coast, lies about 62 kilometers southwest of Jaffna, Sri Lanka's northernmost point, and is about 24 kilometers from Sri Lanka's Delft Island. Now, Katchatheevu Island is where fishermen from Tamil Nadu go to fish, but they are detained by the Sri Lankan Navy as soon as they cross the international maritime border line to reach the island, leading to the standoff really between Sri Lankan police and the Indian fishermen time and again. Now, like in 2019, Prime Minister has used an episode from the past to launch a blazing political attack. Now, in 2019, the charge was that former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's use of naval warship for a personal holiday. In 2024, he's once again targeted the Gandhi family and accused them of giving away Indian territory as if it was their personal property. And the Congress, meanwhile, have questioned the timing of the issue being raised by the Prime Minister, accusing him of playing on the sentiments of fishermen community just before the elections, while not having taken any action, they say, on the matter in the last 10 years.
It is only for elections. What Katchatheevu, for 10 years, what Mr. Modi was doing, what Jaishankar was doing, how many fishermen's boats has been taken over? Who will answer it? Jaishankar has to answer it. He should resign first. Because of their ineffectiveness, how many boats has been destroyed by the Indian Sri Lankan army? Till now there are 200 boats are been captured by the Sri Lankan Navy. What about that thing? Who will ask it? They will speak about 1970.
Strange that the Prime Minister has only now found out that Katchatheevu was ceded away in 1974. I don't know, in the last 10 years, we would like to ask the Prime Minister what has he done in the last 10 years to retrieve Katchatheevu. What joke are they trying to make? They say Mr. Annamalai has made an RTF. Every information is in the public domain. What information you are going? You are the central government. From where are you getting these details? So to divert everything, divert all these things, divert the massive scam called the electoral bonds, the massive scam called the PM Cares Fund, the massive scam pointed out by the CAG. They want to divert the attention of the common man. That is why the Prime Minister is raking up an issue.
Now, meanwhile, the Prime Minister and the BJP's attack may be around past actions by the Congress and the DMK government. The focus is squarely on the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, with Tamil Nadu going to polls on the 19th of April in the first phase, and the issue of fishermen really being detained by Sri Lanka, particularly thorny issue in the state. Now, even the government's official numbers really estimate close to 6,000 Indian fishermen who have been detained in the last 20 years here. Now, the island, of course, had little strategic value back then and was used as a piece of land that could broker peace between neighbors. But now, the issue is as much international as it is domestic. The Prime Minister has rolled the dice, but will it help the BJP make any impact in the Dravidian bastion? That remains to be seen. Now, in fact, let's open this up. Narayanan Thirupathy of the BJP joining us today. We also have Bhavya Narasimhamurthy of the Congress party. Madhavan Narayan, senior journalist. Kovai Sathyan from the AIADMK is also with us. I'm going to open this up with Mr. Kovai Sathyan. Mr. Sathyan, how do you really look at this? Because on one hand, the Prime Minister has opened up this issue, weeks ahead of the elections. But, he's also spoken about how Mr. Karunanidhi, the late Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, was also instrumental in giving a go-ahead. And then, even organizing protests just because they wanted to not reflect badly in front of the Tamil populace.
Neither TNK nor Congress can deny the fact that they have blood in their hands when it comes to the Katchatheevu issue. It was given away as per the whims and fancies of one individual, Mr. Nehru, executed by his daughter Indira Gandhi. It was not done through the channel which has to be done, a constitutional amendment, nor it was tabled in the parliament. So it's an issue which is there for the last 5 decades. And after giving away Katchatheevu, 700 fishermen have lost their lives because of the action taken by Sri Lankan naval forces. And every day this is becoming a pain for the fishermen because they get arrested, their vessels and their assets are confiscated, and the Sri Lankan government auctions the same, causing huge losses to the fishermen. So this is an ongoing pain and excess. But in 2008, our leader Amma sought the intervention of the central government in this issue by filing a writ petition in Supreme Court. From there onwards, when Congress and DMK were in power, they made a oral submission saying that no piece or parts of land was given away to Sri Lanka. This was stated in the Supreme Court by Congress while they were at the center. When the change of government took place, BJP on its part came and said, the Tamil Nadu fishermen has no rights in the territory of Katchatheevu for fishing. So this is a stand of both national parties, but what we are interested in, we are looking at a solution. The revenue department was made a party because Katchatheevu still reflects in the records, revenue records of Tamil Nadu government. 2011, our Amma, Kurchitalabi Amma, brought us into the revenue records, and revenue department is made a party, and this matter is still sub judice. And suddenly getting an enlightenment and discovery about Katchatheevu is not going to do any benefit or good for Tamil Nadu BJP in these upcoming elections. You call a kid, school-going kid, and ask him about Katchatheevu, he will tell you the history of this. What's happening, what went right, what went wrong. How DMK in hand with Congress gave away this Katchatheevu. So it is there, but what we are interested in, our manifesto precisely stated that we need a joint committee on the naval force, constituting Tamil Nadu force. Why? Because you already have a navy which is patrolling, but it is of no good. We already have a unit in Tamil Nadu force, police force, which is also not helping. So we want a solution. That's why we have in a manifesto. Let's have a joint naval committee which could save the lives of fishermen and which could help the fishermen not giving away their assets, which is being confiscated by the Sri Lankan Navy. So let's look at solution. Let's not make up issue only for political benefits, which clearly indicates that BJP doesn't have any narrative to meet the people of Tamil Nadu to seek votes. This is only raised up for political mileage and benefits by hiding the facts of history to their own benefits.
Okay, one of the primary charges, of course, that the Prime Minister made is against the Congress party. Before I go to Bhavya, I want a response from Mr. Narayanan Thirupathy to what Mr. Sathyan said. Mr. Thirupathy, unnecessarily raking this up. This is already sub judice. And, without any narrative, this is what the BJP is stooping down to as a charge.
No, see, who has raked up this issue? Nobody. See, BJP has not raked up this issue because It is the DMK and the other parties who have been time and again saying that they voted to power. How they will do it? How? See, they were the one to give the Katchatheevu to hand over it to Sri Lanka, in spite of the opposition from the junction, particularly from our leader, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the former Prime Minister, and also our Mr. Janaki Krishnamurthy, who had filed a case in the Honorable Madras High Court, for which the DMK had replied that there are no documents available in Tamil Nadu, the government. So we need to understand this issue was raised up by the political parties of Tamil Nadu, maybe from DMK and AIADMK, consistently speaking about, acknowledged by Ms. Jayalalitha in 1984, if I am right, in the parliament, that yes, you have given the Katchatheevu. She has acknowledged it. I can get you the copy of this. It is stated in her speeches of Ms. In parliament, given all these things.
Okay, Mr. Thirupathy, your line seems to have a lot of glitches. I'll come back to you once we try and fix that completely. Bhavya, respond to what the BJP had to say, and also Mr. Sathyan as well earlier.
So, as we all know, Tamil Nadu is among the first states which totally rejected BJP. So far, they have not been able to win even one seat, whether in assembly or the parliament, right? And every time, and they were the one who started this trend of go back Modi. Every time Mr. Modi visits Tamil Nadu, there is a protest from the fishermen of the state. We all know India Alliance, that is DMK and Congress, is going to win 39+1 seats from the whole of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. Now BJP is so desperate. They just want to bring in one or the other issues. That's mostly because Tamil Nadu is a state which totally rejects their hate politics and divisive politics. So they can't play that game in Tamil Nadu. And that's exactly why they are digging up an agreement, which was a friendly agreement between the then Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, and the President of Sri Lanka, where this Katchatheevu was, yes, given to Sri Lanka in return for 6 lakh Tamil lives. You know, there was repatriation from Sri Lanka of 6 lakh Tamilians to India. Those 6 lakh Tamilians, they got dignity, they got their human rights back and a citizenship in India. Correct? They got refuge in India. So this was the understanding back then. But my question is, if today, after 10 years of their rule, they realized that Katchatheevu is given to Sri Lanka, what were they doing for the past 10 years? I'm telling you now, if our fishermen have a problem because Katchatheevu is given to Sri Lanka, when we come to power, we will take it back. But does Narendra Modi have the guts to take it back is my question. One, when you speak about national security, does it only apply to Katchatheevu Island? Doesn't it apply to the Bangladesh agreement, the recent agreement you did with Bangladesh, where you gave away 17,000 acres of land to Bangladesh in return for only 7,000 acres during the land border agreement? Where did the 10,000 acres go then? Why did you give away Bangladesh, 10,000 acres? And why is that not being mentioned? Then Congress did not behave in a juvenile way. We knew the reason for this and we supported it, right? And now to bring up this Katchatheevu issue and not mentioning that 6 lakh Tamilian lives were saved and they were given their human rights, it just shows how their desperation. My second point is, you talk about national security and you don't have any, courage to even take out the name China. You gave a clean check to China in 2020. When your own MP said, yes, there were Chinese army inside our state. There were, Chinese people who had occupied Indian territory. You just wanted to give them a clean chit. Someone who wanted to show some lal aankh to China has no courage to even take out China's name. Now you just want to cook up a story like, okay, Katchatheevu, why did you just wake up after 10 years? You could have taken back Katchatheevu.
Okay, Bhavya. Okay, Bhavya, I think Mr. Thirupathi's line is fixed. Let me take those questions across to him.
Tamil Nadu, and we all know, Tamil Nadu BJP is
See,
okay, Bhavya, let Mr. Thirupathy come in. Let him respond. Let him respond.
See, it's laughable.
Yeah, let him respond to what you said, Bhavya. I'll come back to you after that.
It's laughable that the Congress is saying we are going to lose 39 seats, whereas they may not even get 39 seats as a whole throughout India. The Congress is not going to get even 39 seats whole of India. So let me not go into that. But as far as Katchatheevu issue is concerned, it is very, very clear that the way they have handed it over to Katchatheevu, it's a conspiracy by the DMK and the Congress. Now, Mr. Narasimhamurthy was saying that, it was given in exchange of 6 lakhs Tamil people. That is a very arrogant lie by, Mr. P. Chidambaram and Jairam Ramesh. Today they have tweeted. Actually, it was done in 1964, a decade back, before 1974. It was a Shastri Cinema agreement in which the Malayaga Tamilgal from Sri Lanka were given citizenship by India. So it has got nothing to do with this Katchatheevu issue. Whereas you see the lies by Chidambaram and Jairam Ramesh, the Congress very clearly shows that it was a conspiracy that they have sold it to for some ransom. They have sold it to Sri Lanka. I charge them. That is what has been done. And Mr. Karunanidhi was involved in this, because a senior politician like Chidambaram and Jairam Ramesh lying in front of the public. You can just Google it and you can see Bopanna. It was in 1964. Shastri Cinema Pact. And these people are lying. It itself shows very clearly that it was done illegally. The Foreign Secretary has made it very, very clear that Mr. Karunanidhi did not respond to what the Foreign Secretary had done. So it is very clear. It is not that we have raised this issue. It is the DMK and the Congress who are raking up the issue. You see, Mr. Manik Thakur was saying that so many people are dying and all those things. See, so many people died during Congress rule. In the last 10 years, there are no deaths except only one incident happened. There are no deaths. We need to understand. We have, Mr. Modi has brought back 5 people who had gone almost in a death punishment. We have taken the...
Okay, Mr. Thirupathy, let me try and get a neutral perspective. Let me bring in Madhavan Narayan as well. Mr. Narayan, we've heard from the Congress, we've heard from the AIADMK and the BJP here, 3 different perspectives, really 3 different narratives that they're coming out with. Talk us through this issue at hand in itself, firstly, so that the viewers get a perspective other than the political one.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Deepak, because politicians will only say this and that, but let me pinpoint 3 things here so that we know exactly where we stand. People have been talking about 1964 and 74. I want to take you back 1,000 years. Rajaraja Chola in 993 AD conquered Sri Lanka, and Anuradhapura was part of what we can now call India. So people who say Bharat Varsha and talk about 5,000 years ago may well consider that the island is in a way has a link to that. But if you saw the classic film Ponniyin Selvan, which was released last year and directed by Mani Ratnam, there's a scene in that in which Rajaraja Chola is offered the kingdom by the Buddhist monks, and he turns it down. So I can joke about the fact that Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru are in the august company of Rajaraja Chola, because in diplomacy, there's a lot of pragmatic issues. And Shirimao Bandaranaike, who was the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, and Indira Gandhi were close friends, and India helped, put down a Maoist rebellion in Sri Lanka. And it was very important to contain the Naxalites and Maoists on both sides of the divide. And therefore, this Katchatheevu incident was part of the goodwill gestures. Now, we can go on discuss, if there is a piece of land, and we have mentioned China, somebody's mentioned China, somebody's mentioned today Arunachal, there are lots of villages being renamed. But diplomacy sometimes involves, if not often, give and take, and some of it has been explained. So your viewers can decide whether it's Rajaraja Chola or Jawaharlal Nehru. But let me come specifically to recent history. I've been looking up the number of occasions when Sri Lanka's envoy has been summoned by the Indian Foreign Ministry to do some tough talking. Now, very interestingly, I also watch Tamil channels, and I can tell you that every month, at least once, there is a problem in which Indian fishermen are detained. So that statistic about 6,000 fishermen suffering because of Sri Lanka is very, very true. So in the past 10 years, I see no instance of the Sri Lankan envoy being summoned by the diplomats. And Mr. Chidambaram mentioned that there was an RTI in 2015 when the current foreign minister was a foreign secretary, when it was mentioned that because the international waters were such that Katchatheevu was closer to Sri Lanka, it was a gesture. Now, I don't want to go into that because in diplomacy, distance is not everything. But, for instance, Andaman is far away from the Indian mainland, but belongs to India. So nothing. So the big question is, can Mr. Modi get back Katchatheevu the way China got back Hong Kong from the British? Can Mr. Modi get back Katchatheevu the way Vladimir Putin got back Crimea, which used to be part of Ukraine until a few years ago? Now it's been annexed. So diplomacy is a big boys game, Deepak. Let me say that don't listen to politicians. Diplomats also are, in troubled situations. But closer to elections, these things become, disproportionately drummed up. And I can tell you, for the benefit of Mr. Kovai Sathyan, who doesn't seem to have done his homework, that in 2008, the Indian Foreign Ministry stood up for Jayalalitha ji. They said that there were some obscene articles written in Sri Lankan media disparaging Jayalalitha, and that the Indian Foreign Ministry at that time took it up, and the envoy was summoned. So if this can be big enough for the envoy to be summoned, I want to ask why over the last 10 years, the Sri Lanka envoy has never been summoned on the fishermen issue. But these are issues on which diplomats can go hum and haw. Politicians will go tu meme, but we as Indians have to decide very carefully. But all I can tell Mr. Modi is that at a time when the odds are stacked against him in Tamil Nadu, this is a very good googly to ball. We can say, nice try, Mr. Modi, but it's going to be still tough.
Okay, let's of course see how the electorate really pick it up. But interesting that you mentioned diplomacy. A former diplomat, of course, is right now the External Affairs Minister. Let's listen to what he said about the issue a little while ago.
So, please understand, this is not an issue which has suddenly surfaced. This is a live issue. It is an issue which has been very much debated in Parliament, in Tamil Nadu circles as well. It has been the subject of correspondence between the union government and the state government. Two parties, the Congress and the DMK, have approached this matter as though they have no responsibility for it, as though the situation is for central government, today's central government, for them to resolve. There is no history to this. This has just happened. They are the people who are taking up the cause. That is the way they would like to project it.
Coming back to Mr. Sathyan on this, Mr. Sathyan, a couple of points that Mr. Narayanan as well wanted to had to rebut, and overall your response to what the BJP had to say earlier too.
No, in my opening statement, I made it clear that this issue is there for the last 5 decades. What we need is a solution. Neither Congress nor BJP is able to give a holistic solution. It was in BJP's manifesto that they will get away with Article 370. But I don't see anything of that sort in Katchatheevu. With due respect to senior journalists, you have to listen to politicians because with greater power comes greater responsibility, and you have responsible politicians still alive in India. That's why people like you and me live in peace. I have done my homework. That's why I mentioned about 2008, how we filed the case, how in 2011 Revenue Department was made a part of Katchatheevu, and Katchatheevu was made in the records of Revenue Department. That still holds good. The DMK wants they can take up this case, citing the case with Revenue Department. However, the en route to Pran Pratishtha, 11 days of fasting by Honorable Prime Minister, he was there at Rameshwaram. Let's understand that the enlightenment would have come at that point of time about Katchatheevu. He was there last month at Palladam in Coimbatore on election rally. He came back again. In nowhere he was talking about this Katchatheevu issue or anywhere. Why suddenly at this point of time? Because you don't have any common narrative to go and meet the people of Tamil Nadu.
Mr. Sathyan, we can question the timing, we can talk about the past and all of it. But what I want to understand from you is, do you feel that this will resonate with the voters? Do you feel that the fishermen especially around Rameshwaram and other parts of Tamil Nadu, will really, think that the BJP could resolve this, and this is an issue that has been really, it stems from, the Congress and the DMK really doing this in the past?
There are two answers to this. Answer one is it will not. Answer two is find the Suvendu Adhikari, it is not going to happen. Because the constituency which is affected more is Ramanathapuram, where an ally of BJP, Mr. O. Pannirselvam, who is a traitor, is contesting there. Maybe these issues rake up to help Pannirselvam to gain some votes, and they feel that they can still play around and fish in troubled waters. This might be the political narrative. So both is not going to materialize, both is not going to gain grounds in the minds of people of Tamil Nadu. This issue, people need solution. This has been raked up again and again for the benefits for vote bank politics, which people are sick and tired. Fishermen are definitely sick and tired of this issue being raked up again and again, and nobody is able to come out and give a solution to the same. The central government has to intervene with their powers. That's why I asked, when you can put it in a manifesto that we'll get away with Article 370, have you mentioned anything about Katchatheevu? Why only on media there is noise? Suddenly one
it will probably benefit Pannirselvam is what Mr. Sathyan believes. Madhavan Narayan wants to come in very quickly. Mr. Narayan, please respond.
Very quickly, 2 points. One is that in 2013, 1 year before Mr. Modi, the Sri Lankan envoy was summoned and 114 Indian fishermen was released because of this. But I must say that cutting across party lines, I'm saying this as an Indian and as a Tamilian, that I have not seen the national parliament MPs of any party doing justice on the fishermen issue in the national parliament. That includes Congress, AIADMK, DMK, BJP. I apologize to Kovai Sathyan for mentioning Jayalalitha, but that was said because, you should stand up both for your leader. So I apologize in that sense. But yes, it's important to understand that as Indians, we need to look at lives and not just pieces of land. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Bhavya, if you could really come in, Mr. Sathyan said earlier as well that the Congress had its own doing in the matter. Now, whether you question the timing of the Prime Minister raking this issue up, and you, of course, even spoke about, the exchange that really happened that also was rebutted by the BJP. I want you to firstly respond to the rebuttal that came in from Mr. Narayan Thirupathy, and also how much of an impact will this statement by the Prime Minister and this issue being raked up at it's probably just about 18 days to go now for the elections in Tamil Nadu.
So Deepak, I really want to appreciate this panel. You have chosen a very balanced panel with an expert, both the sides representing this. But then timing really matters in diplomacy, right? Like when that agreement was done, there was a different kind of relationship with this country. And today there is a different kind of relationship because of how our fishermen are suffering, right? So
no, but the agreement that you mentioned itself was rebutted by Mr. Narayan Thirupathy, Bhavya.
Fishermen. Just to cover that up, they want to bring in an emotional, issue here, only because the name Modi doesn't have any wave in Tamil Nadu. And they think they can actually play with the people's emotion, Tamil people's emotion, bringing Katchatheevu. I don't think this is going to work because people actually know what Congress has done. And just like how Sir mentioned, lives matter more. When we had to save those 6 lakh Tamil lives, and even today, but if it comes to a fisherman's life, if we were in power, we would have taken back Katchatheevu. Can BJP do that? That's the question now. I want to ask the BJP spokesperson.
Okay, Mr. Thirupathy.
Deepak, first of all, I would like to say that this issue was raked up not by BJP, but by the DMK and the Congress. They have been asking that the BJP should retrieve Katchatheevu, which they have donated or they have sold it to Sri Lanka. And it was made very, very clear by the DMK, by the government record. First time it is in the RTA, it was sold. It was literally given to Sri Lanka unnecessarily, and that was the cause for more than 800 or 900 fishermen to die. And that is the Congress which has done harm to the Tamils and also the DMK. And this issue was raked up by the DMK and Congress, for which we have exposed the DMK and the Congress. I asked her one question. The exchange of, they have said, Chidambaram and Jairam Ramesh has said that it was an exchange of 6 lakh tons. That happened a decade back in 1964, and she never answered that. That is wrong. This is a blatant, not only blatant, it's arrogant, atrocious what they have done. And see, absolutely, because of giving this Katchatheevu only, this entire fisherman problem is there. It is happening. We need to understand this. And the last 10 years, it is not happening. And we have been talking to the Sri Lankan authorities that the Indian fishermen, Tamil fishermen should not be held. So they were pressurizing as if the BJP is trying to delay, by retrieving Katchatheevu. We have exposed them. This is very simple. Don't say that we have, rigged this issue. And Mr. Narayanan was asking, let us go back to 1,000 years and all those things. See, again I'm telling you, these two political parties, the DMK and the AIADMK, fully knowing well that they have legally given this land to the Sri Lanka unnecessarily for their political advantages. They are thinking the people are fools, and they are doing this, including the Congress. The Congress is so arrogant.
Well, the people, of course, in about 18 days, Mr. Thirupathy will decide, on the narratives that are being set. The Prime Minister has spoken about it. It's just about... Okay, very quickly, Bhavya.
So I just want to ask, what is the favor that Mr. Modi got by giving away 10,000 acres of land to Bangladesh? If that was not friendly, did he sell 10,000 acres of land to Bangladesh? Can the BJP spokesperson say that? Answer this?
Deepak, I will tell you.
Has he sold the thing? If you are claiming Katchatheevu was sold to Sri Lanka, a poor country, today when you sell, are you selling these 10,000 acres? You gave away 17,000, got back only 7,000. Where are those 10,000 acres? Did you sell that to Bangladesh? How much did you get in return?
Yeah, Mr. Thirupathy, okay, we'll have him respond to that, Bhavya.
Everyone knows that it was a long pending issue, whereas India has taken back the due, what it has to, and it was in exchange, it was legally done, and so in fact it was initiated by the Congress government, the previous Congress government. It was a long pending issue, we all know that. So there is no point in talking about the Bangladesh issue, comparing this with the issue.
Right.
I think our...
But of course we are talking about Katchatheevu here. Now the biggest issue here... Well, we can debate Bangladesh on another day. I've got a response from the BJP to what Bhavya as well asked. But more importantly, for the people of Tamil Nadu here, one thing to note is that whether such issues really matter to them, which happened several decades ago, will they vote considering all of this? I think the people, of course, have enough clarity about what they're going to vote for and who they're going to vote for. Whether such issues really will change that opinion in the coming days, we'll know in about 18 days. I'm thanking all our panelists who joined us. We have more news coming up on the other side of this quick break. Stay with us.